morning. Thank you for being here. I want to start by saying something that I mean with my whole heart. It is a privilege to be in this room with you. Future educators, future researchers, future leaders, people who have chosen deliberately and courageously to pursue knowledge as a way of serving others. That is not a small thing. That is everything. My name is Maria Angala. I am a national board certified teacher working in the United States. I am a bilingual special education teacher leader, and I am someone who has spent the better part of 2 decades, 22 years to be exact, asking one question over and over again in classrooms on 2 continents. How do we make sure that every single child, has access to the learning they deserve? That question is why I am speaking with you today, and it is the question that brought me, eventually, to artificial intelligence. Let me tell you a little bit about where I come from, because I think it matters for the conversation we are about to have. Before I taught in the United States, I ran a small school in the Philippines, a school for children with special needs. We did not have the technology that many of you carry in your pockets right now. We did not have sophisticated tools. We had dedication. We had creativity. We had teachers who showed up every single day and believed, in the face of every obstacle, that every child could learn. That school shaped everything I believe about education. When I came to the United States and became a national board certified teacher, the highest professional certification available to educators in America, I brought that belief with me, and I began asking a bigger version of the same question. Not just how do we support children in one school, in one city, in one country, but how do we build frameworks, systems of teaching and learning that can travel, that can reach educators in Myanmar, in the Philippines, in Malaysia, that can serve students who are multilingual learners, students with learning disabilities, students who are brilliant and capable and simply waiting for the right kind of support? That work became the Access Literacy Framework, and I'm going to tell you more about how it was built, because the story of how it was built is exactly why I am here today talking to you about artificial intelligence. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something. When most people hear the phrase artificial intelligence, what is the first question that comes to mind? What can AI do? That is the question that dominates the headlines. That is the question that fills the conferences and the policy papers and the technology blogs. What can AI do? What can it generate? What can it replace? What jobs will it take? What content can it produce? And I understand why that question is so loud. AI is genuinely extraordinary. The things it can do would have seemed impossible 10 years ago. But I want to suggest to you this morning that it is the wrong question, because when we only ask what AI can do, we position ourselves as passive observers. We become the audience of a technology that is performing for us, and that is a very dangerous place to be. The real question, and the question that I want to anchor every minute of our time together today, is this. How can thoughtful humans use AI responsibly to learn better, think better, and create meaningful work? Notice the difference. The first question puts AI at the center. The second question puts you at the center. You, your thinking, your judgment, your values, your purpose. That shift from spectator to architect is the most important thing I can offer you today. 2 years ago, I was sitting at my desk late at night. It was quiet. The kind of quiet that happens when the rest of the world has gone to sleep, but your mind is still going, and I was thinking about classrooms thousands of miles away. I was thinking about children in Myanmar who were trying to learn how to read, children with enormous potential and almost no resources. I was thinking about teachers in the Philippines, in Quezon City, who were working with students who struggled with language and reading and writing. Many of those students were multilingual learners. Some had learning disabilities. Many were incredibly bright. They just needed the right kind of support. And I kept asking myself, what is the right kind of support? What does it look like? How do you build it? How do you teach it to teachers who are doing the best they can with what they have? Those classrooms reminded me of my own journey, of that school in the Philippines, of teachers who showed up without enough and gave everything anyway. That question, how do we design learning systems that support every student, especially those who struggle the most, became the Access Literacy Framework. A.C.C.E.S.S stands for Structured, Inclusive Strategies that help multilingual learners and students with diverse needs succeed in reading, writing, and academic thinking. And while I was building it, I started experimenting with artificial intelligence, not as a shortcut, not as a replacement for thinking, but as a thinking partner. Let me be very clear about something. AI did not create the A.C.C.E.S.S literacy framework. Teachers did, experience did, students did. AI helped me organize hundreds of research notes. It helped me compare instructional models used in different countries. It helped me structure ideas that eventually became a framework designed to support teachers and students across Southeast Asia. But the ideas themselves, the values, the understanding of what children actually need in real classrooms with real challenges, those came from human experience. They came from decades of watching children struggle and succeed, from listening to teachers who were exhausted but still trying, from knowing in my bones what it feels like to sit across from a child who has been told in one way or another that they are not enough. AI cannot know that. AI does not have a body. It does not have a history. It does not carry the weight of a classroom full of children who are counting on it. But it can help you organize your thinking. It can help you see patterns in large amounts of information. It can help you build structures that make complex ideas accessible. That is the difference between a tool and a teacher. And that is exactly the relationship you should build with AI. AI should amplify thinking. It should never replace it. One of Malaysia's most respected leaders, Tun Hussein On, once reminded the nation that education is not simply about knowledge, it is about shaping responsible citizens who contribute to the future of their country. I have thought about those words many times as I developed my work, because that is exactly what we are trying to do in the Philippines, in Myanmar, and here in Malaysia. We are not just trying to transfer information. We are trying to shape human beings who can think clearly, act ethically, and serve their communities with wisdom. The A.C.C.E.S.S literacy framework is currently beginning to support educators working with students in Myanmar and the Philippines, teachers who needed practical, structured strategies that they could use immediately in real classrooms with real children. And my hope, a hope I carry very seriously, is that the work will eventually support teachers and learners here in Malaysia as well. Because the challenges are real. Multilingual learners who fall through the cracks, students with learning differences who are brilliant but underserved, teachers who are doing extraordinary work with insufficient support. Those children deserve better, and those teachers deserve partners. UPSI, Sultan Idris Education University, is one of Malaysia's premier institutions for teacher education. The educators who are trained here will shape the learning of thousands of children. What you carry out of this university matters. What you believe about teaching matters. What you are willing to fight for matters. Today is about making sure that you carry one more tool and the wisdom to use it well. Let us talk about how AI can actually improve the way you work as a university student and as a future professional. The first area is research. In the past, research meant spending hours, sometimes days, searching through articles and databases before you could even identify the key themes in a field. That process has not disappeared. But AI can accelerate the beginning of it in ways that used to be impossible. Here is the most important rule I can give you about AI and research. Use AI as a research assistant, not as a research author. What does that mean in practice? It means you can ask AI to help you generate research questions before you begin a project. If you are studying education or psychology or engineering or business, ask AI to generate 10 possible research questions about your topic. This is not cheating, this is brainstorming, this is expanding your thinking before you narrow it, and it takes 5 minutes instead of 2 days. It means you can use AI to decode complex academic texts. When you encounter a journal article that is dense and difficult, and you will regularly, you can ask AI to explain the main argument in simpler language. Then you go back to the original text with better comprehension. The AI did not read the article for you. It gave you a ladder to climb up to it, but here is where your responsibility begins and never ends. Always verify. Always cross-check. Always return to the primary sources. AI makes mistakes. Confident-sounding mistakes? Sometimes. It can cite sources that do not exist. It can misrepresent research findings. It can simplify an idea to the point of distortion. Responsible scholars verify everything. That has not changed because AI exists. If anything, it is more important now than it has ever been. The second strategy is about note-taking. I want to share a method I call capture, clarify, connect. It is simple, it is powerful, and it is the strategy that has transformed the way many of my students and colleagues approach their academic work. Step 1 is capture. During lectures, during readings, during seminars, write freely. Do not stop to organize. Do not stop to question whether you have the right heading or the right structure. Just get the ideas down. Raw, messy, incomplete, that is fine. The goal is to capture the thinking before it disappears. Step 2 is clarify. After the lecture or the reading, take your raw notes and bring AI into the conversation. Paste them into an AI tool and ask it to summarize the key ideas, organize the content into headings, or identify the main argument. What was scattered becomes structured, what was overwhelming becomes navigable. Step 3, and this is the most important step, is connect. This is where AI steps back and you step forward. You review the organized notes. You ask yourself, what is the relationship between this idea and that one? Where do these arguments agree? Where do they conflict? What is missing? What question am I not yet asking? This is where your intelligence, your irreplaceable, lived, curious human intelligence, does its most important work. Raw information becomes structured knowledge, and structured knowledge becomes the foundation for original thinking. That is the goal, not efficiency for its own sake, but efficiency in service of deeper understanding. The third strategy is academic organization. University life is complex. You are managing multiple courses simultaneously. You have deadlines that compete with each other. You have personal responsibilities alongside professional ones. And sometimes the sheer weight of all of it makes it hard to begin at all. AI can help with that. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you have a research paper due in 4 weeks. Instead of sitting with that vague, heavy feeling of not knowing where to start, ask AI to help you break the project into weekly milestones. Week 1, topic selection and preliminary research. Week 2, reading and annotating your sources. Week 3, drafting your argument. Week 4, editing, refining, and submitting work you are proud of. That structure, that simple, practical breakdown, changes the emotional experience of the project. It transforms a mountain into a path. And here is something I have seen consistently, both in my own work and in the work of the students I support. When students feel organized, they feel capable. And when they feel capable, they do better work. AI can give you that structure, but you still have to walk the path yourself. The fourth strategy is the one that excites me most because it speaks directly to who you are and why you are here. You are not just here to pass examinations, you are here to develop ideas, to design solutions, to become the kind of professional who looks at a problem in their community and asks, what can I build to address this? AI can be a powerful partner in that process. If you are studying education, which many of you are, at an institution built on a legacy of teacher preparation, AI can help you design differentiated learning experiences. It can help you generate lesson ideas for students at different language proficiency levels. It can help you build inclusive assessment tools. If you are studying engineering, AI can help you simulate design challenges and analyze potential failures before they become expensive mistakes. If you are in business, AI can help you draft market research frameworks, generate survey questions, and model potential outcomes. If you are in the social sciences, AI can help you design community engagement strategies and analyze qualitative themes. But here's the thing I need you to hold on to. The creativity comes from you. The professional judgment comes from you. The understanding of your community, its history, its needs, its culture, its people, that comes from you and only you. AI can help you move faster. It cannot help you care more, and caring more is what separates good professionals from great ones. Now I want to talk about something that I consider non-negotiable, the ethical use of artificial intelligence. I have watched universities around the world grapple with this question. I have seen policies written and rewritten. I have seen students confused about where the line is, and I want to be as clear as I possibly can. There is a line, and it matters. Here it is, as plainly as I can put it. If you use AI to generate an outline, to create a structure for your thinking, and then you write the paper yourself, developing your own arguments, drawing on your own research in your own voice, that is a legitimate scaffold. That is AI functioning exactly as it should. If you take AI-generated paragraphs and submit them as your own analysis, without engagement, without critical evaluation, without the intellectual wrestling that is the whole point of a university education, that is not scholarship. That is a performance of scholarship, and it will hollow you out. Not because you will necessarily get caught, although you may, but because you will have missed the most important thing that university can give you. The experience of thinking hard, struggling productively, and arriving at an idea that is genuinely, unmistakably yours. Responsible use means transparency. Be honest about how AI contributed to your process. Responsible use means intellectual integrity. Verify everything, cite your sources, ensure that every claim you make reflects your own understanding, and responsible use means protecting human creativity. Language is not just a tool for communication. Language is a tool for thinking. When you write, you are not simply producing words on a page. You are shaping ideas. You are building arguments. You are developing the intellectual muscles that will carry you through your entire career. If AI replaces that process, you lose the very thing that makes you valuable, not as a student, but as a human being. Protect it. Before I move to my closing thoughts, I want to give you something concrete to carry out of this room. 5 strategies. Simple, practical, usable starting today. First, before you begin any research project, ask AI to generate 10 possible research questions on your topic. Use them to expand your thinking before you narrow it. Second, when you encounter a difficult reading, use AI to summarize the main argument. Then go back to the original text with the summary in hand. Let AI be the ladder, not the destination. Third, after every lecture or reading session, paste your raw notes into an AI tool. Ask it to organize them into a clear structure. Then review that structure and identify the connections that only your thinking can make. Fourth, for every large assignment, ask AI to help you build a realistic project timeline with weekly milestones. Let the structure reduce your stress so your energy can go where it belongs, into the thinking. Fifth, when you are stuck on a creative project, use AI to brainstorm possibilities. Let it show you options you had not considered. Then develop the final work yourself, shaped by your judgment, your values, and your voice. These are not shortcuts, they are scaffolds. And the difference between a shortcut and a scaffold is this. A shortcut gets you to the destination without the journey. A scaffold gives you the support to complete the journey yourself. Choose the scaffold. Here's the balance I want you to carry with you. There are things AI can accelerate, and there are things that you, and only you, must protect. AI can accelerate the gathering and organizing of information. AI can accelerate the summarizing of complex material. AI can accelerate the generation of first ideas. AI can accelerate the building of structures and timelines. Let it do those things, but you must protect your curiosity, your capacity to ask questions that nobody has thought to ask before. You must protect your capacity for deep analysis, for sitting with an idea long enough to understand not just what it says, but what it means and what it leaves out. You must protect your reflection, your ability to look at your own thinking honestly and ask whether it is correct, whether it is complete, whether it is fair. You must protect your cultural knowledge, your understanding of your community, your language, your history, the things that no algorithm has ever experienced and no dataset can fully contain. And you must protect your creative voice, because the world does not need more efficiently generated content. The world needs people who think clearly, who care deeply, and who create work that is genuinely, unmistakably human. Use AI to accelerate the mechanical parts of learning, never let it replace the human parts. Students of Sultan Idris Education University, let me leave you with this. The most powerful intelligence in this room is still human intelligence. Not because AI is not impressive. It is. It will continue to grow. New tools will appear every year. The landscape will shift in ways that none of us can fully predict, but through all of that change, one thing will remain constant. Technology does not determine the future. People do, people do. Your curiosity will determine the future. Your integrity will determine the future. Your willingness to use knowledge, not for convenience, not for performance, not for the appearance of productivity, but to genuinely serve others, that will determine the future. AI can help you research faster. It can help you organize ideas more efficiently. It can help you build and prototype and design. And all of that matters. But the most powerful thing you can do with artificial intelligence is use it in a way that makes your thinking stronger, your work more meaningful, and your service to your community more impactful. I would like to invite you to become part of the founding cohort of the A.C.C.E.S.S. Literacy Framework Professional Development Program. The A.C.C.E.S.S. Literacy Framework is a research-based instructional system I developed to help teachers make rigorous literacy instruction accessible for diverse learners, especially students receiving special education services and English language learners. The framework guides teachers through a clear instructional sequence that activates background knowledge, supports vocabulary development, breaks complex texts into manageable steps, and builds students' ability to analyze and respond with evidence. At its core, A.C.C.E.S.S. was created by a classroom teacher for real classrooms. The goal is not to simplify academic expectations, but to provide intentional scaffolds that help students meet them. Teachers who use the framework report stronger reading comprehension, more confident writers, and greater engagement from students who previously struggled to access grade-level texts. As a member of the founding cohort, you will have early access to the A.C.C.E.S.S. training program and the opportunity to help shape how the framework is implemented in classrooms. This cohort will work together to explore practical strategies for applying the model across subjects and grade levels, with particular attention to supporting multilingual learners and students with learning differences. Participants in the founding cohort will learn the full A.C.C.E.S.S. instructional framework, receive classroom-ready strategies and lesson structures, collaborate with other educators implementing the model, provide feedback that will help refine future training and resources, be recognized as early adopters of the framework. This cohort represents the beginning of a community of educators committed to ensuring that rigorous literacy instruction is accessible to every learner. This training aligns with graduate coursework in literacy education, special education, and educational technology offered by teacher education programs. If you are interested in joining the founding cohort or would like additional information about the program, I would be glad to share more details. Join the Funshine Bilingual SPED community from my website www.bilingualsped.com and subscribe to our newsletter. The most exciting part is this: our community is just beginning. That means the people who join now will not simply be members, they will be founding members who help shape how this framework grows across countries and cultures. Years from now, when this work expands to more classrooms and more teachers, I hope some of you will be able to say, "I was there at the beginning." I'm very hopeful about what's ahead. Together, we have an opportunity to make a real difference in classrooms and in students' lives. If you believe education should be inclusive, innovative, and globally connected, I invite you to be part of that founding group. Scan the QR code on the screen and take a moment to add your name to the community. You are studying at an institution built on a legacy of educators who believed that teaching can transform societies. That belief did not come from a machine. It came from human beings who cared, who showed up, who sacrificed, who invested in the next generation because they understood that the future lives inside the people we teach. That is your inheritance. And perhaps one day, some of the ideas that begin here at UPSI will travel across Southeast Asia, supporting classrooms in Malaysia, in the Philippines, in Myanmar, and beyond. Because the future of education will not be written by machines. It will be written by thoughtful educators, researchers, and students like you. Combine that human intelligence with the responsible, courageous, purposeful use of AI, and you will not just become productive students. You will become leaders capable of solving the challenges of our time. Thank you very much.